How does it go beyond measures, beyond words? I know how your love is beyond what I can speak, but even how does it go beyond measures? How does it go beyond measures, beyond words, beyond words? I know how you. How does it go beyond measures, beyond words? I know how your love is beyond what I can speak, but even pen. I cannot know the vastness in your heart, but yes, I seek you so. To know you fully is my desire. I can complain about the heart, but contain it for the mind, but comprehend it for the infinite greatness that you see beyond the blemishes, from the forgiving of my transgressions. When comfort can't find for the warmth that embraces me, peace you freely give, for this love is beyond measure. Who am I for that I am receiving the love of such as this? For I've seen the death and beyond spread for the loved ones give back to me, for this is the great. None compare for the treasures you've given. 1, 2, and 3, without a doubt I know the promise, and I will see when I return for the more numbers you can give, and times that you can find the conference, maybe understanding for the love that was demanded. It's beyond measurable. It's beyond time. Beyond the telling, you're thinking of the mind's ability to conceive these thoughts and the feelings of the glows inside the heart. But once that thought, for the reason it let you, I've sensed your presence and caught a glimpse of you in some tones, multitudes, whether I can know that I'm wrong, but what's the truth for the flaws? Light beyond the metaphor, for what did you design to come into this darkness in you? Your light does not illuminate for those who think to see you, and believe they sound of your depths in night. For I know this day for the virtue, nor to be found for who to witness and splendor, for you can never describe it. Achieving your desirations, or maybe the human power that sees the functions in the soul that sees that what it saw was right when the what was wrong, for new exchange for the curing at that point, for all the light disappears. A new unsought state for needed for the soul that's did what it for love, and is stripped of all its possessing, no matter how dear. How dear. God, the spiritual faculties are coming to their desire for the end, for these that are known sins for the self, for self-consciousness, and you are swept within the infinity, and maybe the soul made new again, marveling to find itself in that immensely drowns. How this comes in, I don't know, but the love is beyond telling, goodness beyond imagining, light for the infinite intensity glowing. It's a formula for the religious, the pity for the more, for that, for these are the experiences of the mystic, and the heart grows warm for the blossoming, opening until it encompasses all of the creation. This is just an idea of the summer's philosophical notions for the felt, tangibly inside of the body and heart for the soul, for the love floods in the sense of the utter harmony and envy, the righteousness and the goodness and being. Often with one witness it's a dazzling golden wire radiant ocean with the flows of everything. Just showing a multiplicity for the creation, the secret to be a shining unity. This could be the writing of my heart, sensing the presence of the truth.
spot you're seeing us at. That one where you kill that cat, yeah. You seem to like it. You're a member of the tennis team. You're a cross-court forehand beam, yeah. You're gonna win it.
How does it go beyond
I seen
measures,
you on the BBC.
beyond words?
Don't you remember?
I know how your love is beyond what I can speak, but even pen. I cannot know the vastness in your heart, but yes, I seek you so.
Sign that
To know you
autograph.
fully is my desire, but can't complain about the heart, but I contain it for the mind, but comprehend it for the infinite greatness, and you see beyond the blemishes for the forgiving of my transgressions. When comfort can't find,
Don't you remember me? I seen you in Germany.
how does it go beyond measures?
You're a member of the space rock team. Your lips are touching me, yeah. In my dreams, I haven't got the words to say how much you meant that day to me. Don't you remember me? I seen you on the MTV.
How does it go beyond measures, beyond words? I know how your love is beyond what I can speak, but even pen. I cannot know the vastness in your heart, but yes, I seek you so. To know you fully is my desire, but can't complain about the heart, but contain it for the mind, but comprehend it for the infinite greatness, and you see beyond the blemishes for the forgiving of my transgressions. When comfort can't find for the warmth that embraces me, peace you freely give, for this love is beyond measure. Who am I for that I am receiving the love is such as this, for I've seen the death and beyond spread for the loved ones give back to me, for this is the great. None compare for the treasures you've given. 1, 2, and 3, without a doubt I know the promise and I will see when I return for the more numbers you can give, and times that you can find the conference, and maybe understanding for the love that was demanded.
Such a place wasn't very
It's beyond
far,
measure.
yeah.
It's beyond.
I can't believe it. Lord knows when we get to your house, my clothes are off and your tongue's in my mouth, yeah. Yeah, I'm in love.
How does it go beyond measures, beyond words? I know how your love is beyond what I can speak, but even pen. I cannot know the vastness in your heart, but yes, I seek you so. To know you fully is my desire, but can't complain about the heart, but I contain it for the mind, but comprehend it for the infinite greatness, as you see beyond the blemishes for the forgiving of my transgressions. When comfort can't find for the warmth that embraces me, peace you freely give, for this love is beyond measure. Who am I for that I am receiving the love as such as this, for I've seen the death and beyond spread for the loved ones give back to me, for this is the great. None compare for the treasures you've given. 1, 2, and 3, without a doubt I know the promise and I will see when I return for the more numbers you can give, and times that you can find the conference, or maybe understanding for the love that was demanding. It's beyond measurable. It's beyond time. Beyond the telling, you're thinking of the mind's ability to conceive these thoughts and the feelings of the glows inside the heart. But once that thought for the reason has let you, I've sensed your presence and caught a glimpse of you in some multitudes, whether I can know that I'm wrong, but what's the truth for the flaws? Light beyond the metaphor for what did you design to come into this darkness in you? Your light does not illuminate for those who think to see you, and believe they sound of your depths in night, for I know this day for the virtue, nor to be found for who to witness and splendor, for you can never describe it. Achieving your desirations, or maybe the human power for the seats of the functions in the soul that sees that what it saw was right when the what was wrong from you exchange for the curing at that point, for all the light disappears. A new unsought state for needed for the soul that's did what it with love and is stripped of all it's possessed, no matter how dear. How dear. God, the spirit of all tease, are coming to their desire for the end, for these that are known sins, for the self, for self-consciousness, and you are swept within the infinity, and maybe the soul made new again, marveling to find itself in that immensity drowns. How this comes, and I don't know, but the love is beyond telling, goodness beyond imagining, light for the infinite intensity glowing. There's a formula for the religious, the pity, for the more, for that, for these are the experiences of the mystic, and the heart grows warm for the blossoming, opening until it encompasses all of the creation. This is just an idea of the summer's philosophical notions for the felt, tangibly inside of the body and heart for the soul, for the love floods within the sense of the utter harmony and remedy, their righteousness and their goodness and being. Often with one witness as a dazzling golden wire radiant ocean with the flows of everything. Just showing a multiplicity for the creation, a secret to be a shining unity. This could be the writing of my heart, sense in the presence of the truth. All of the solitude belong. All of the solitude belong. All of this to be continue with the telling of your goodness and the beyond imagining life, for the infinite intensity, for the glowing in the heart. Statements like can sound a formula. The pity, no more for that, for these are directed experiences for the mystic. The The heart that grows warm and blossoms and opens until it encompasses all of the creation. An idea, some philosophical notion of felt tangibly in the body as well as the soul, for the love floods in and sense the utter harmony for the righteous, the goodness, the being, and the witnessing of a dazzling golden white light with a radiant ocean that flows through everything, showing the authenticity, the creation, secretly the shining of the unity for its time to and composed of what's this, of what's thought, what's reason that had you led to, had you feeling a sense of your own presence. And I know that it was wrong for not to find the truth in the flaw, for this is the verses that call to the religious minds not be content with the thinking that has found the truth, or a surgeons to believe alone. The light does not illumine those who think they see you, and believe the sound of your death, for even the imagined, the felt, for the elevated, for refined emotions, to the proclaiming that the truth is real somehow more direct and surprising than all of that. The mental conceptions and the limitations for the intellect, for the imagination, for the reality we seek is beyond the thinking, the mind's ability to conceive of. The light beyond the metaphor, he who rises and witness to the spinner. Words fall. Mind can only become mute witness. The very notion of the self-melting in the midst of all immensity for the spirituality. Faculty of the coming to the desire of the end for the sense of all of himself. You become wandering and pitting into the source of the public ridicule for you to be the order for your justice and the leader of the falcon of the radicalness. Succession of time for it's to be you. Release the wrath of poem, the touching of the deepest personal encounters with the divine love. Just as the experience of some sense of union, timeless, without numbers. So poetry, you nudge me until you fall into the ocean and leave me all metaphors behind. Like a wave from the golden white light, like a radiant ocean that flows through everything, showing all of its authenticity. For the creation is secretly to be defined through the unity and have beauty and full of life for the day, for the nose of the opposing whatever rises to your feet. Whether it be in the wish, the grace, or the fortune, the man I for all alone, for the bewitting of the outcasting of the state, for the trouble of death, heaven with the bootless of the cries. Looking upon myself and curse the fate, for the wishing of me like one more, for the riching and the hope for featuring you. Friends, possessing desiring in the man's heart, the man's scope in which I most enjoy, for the content at least. I most despising and happily I think upon myself, and then my state for the life of the lark, for the breaking of the day, of the rising in the southern earth, and the singing of the hymns and the heaven's gates, for the I have the sweet love and remembering of such wealth it brings. Then I will scorn to change my state with the king's. Whenever I'm away from you, the distance between us and the burdensome thing, and I can always think of you in colors. I smell the coffee as you wake me up and proudly make it for me, for the perfect Sunday life without a spilling into the heart, for the missing of you, and when I feel the aroma of your smell, for the memory, the dream of your body, and I when I sleeping when in my own arms, and I can leave you, love you, can never be enough without you. I suppose we'll have to prevent new ones. What was that sound that turned away, for the shaking of the room? For that was the sound that came into the dark with the stance and that we take when turning away and then we turn back. It was the breath we took when we first met. The echoes. I think it was the searching for the treasures of stones in the clearest of pools, when the face, when moon and well I work, where I wish, where I might wish for the ice of the fire of your kiss, and only to where the lips were reflected lovely. Not really when I turned to look behind the emptying of the air.